Art Show with your host, Jim Mahfood. Pure art destruction.
Guys, what's up, and welcome to the creator commentary video for issue 5 of Girl Scout Stone Ghost, published by Image Comics. This is my standard edition cover that you can see here. The destructive Bexu with little Dio, little Gordy hanging out. An incredible variant cover by my homeboy, Brandon Graham. This is one of my favorite variant covers of the whole series. Just absolutely amazing. Brandon doing everything by hand, including the Girl Scout Stone Ghost logo. We have Bexu, Gordy, enjoying some tea and cookies. Dio and Natus with their special sweaters. Macho Tailfin's even in here. I make a brief appearance at the top there. You can check that out. But Brandon is just amazing, man. I love his work. We've been friends for a long time. So check him out if you are unfamiliar with the work. This is the original art for the cover. As you can see, just black ink on that tanned paper with some Zipatone added. Plug in the blue, yellow, orange, and red digital colors, and we're good to go. Hopefully these show up. Yeah. Pencil attempts at the cover. I did a couple different versions of the perspective of this main character. I found photo reference of this pose of this girl, but figuring out how to tweak it and how to translate perspective in photography off of real life into stylized cartoony artwork is sometimes tricky. So this was an inked attempt. As you can see, like, her legs are thicker here, and what really made it work was just stylizing everything and giving her these skinny, almost like insect-like legs, exaggerated anatomy, obviously, but from a design perspective, this just looks like it makes sense to the eye in that, you know, gonzo fashion that I'm going for with my work. Cracking it open, we give props, as always, to the creative team. Carmen Acosta on book design. Adam Dumper designed our gorgeous Girl Scout Stone Ghost logo. Brandon, I mentioned, on the variant cover. Production by Tricia Ramos, my homegirl in-house at Image. Justin Stewart, as always, for guidance, spiritual wisdom, and digital lettering for Takeo and the Teeth when they show up. This issue starts off with the much demanded resurrection of Turtleneck Jones, who killed himself in issue 1 in order to manifest the cybernetic protector unit of Natus. We have Turtleneck emerging from the grave and demanding new sunglasses, cigarettes, good whiskey, and a clean turtleneck from his little robot assistant guy who flies down. Here's the original art on that page. This is just black ink on Bristol 300 ply vellum, hand cutting Zipatone and laying it in, as you can see. And then again with my real limited color palette. I've mentioned it in every video, but it's just color for the sake of design. So, you know, boom, yellow, boom, red, orange, boom, yellow is all you need on Turtleneck here, with some white highlights, that lightning crackling behind him. Sometimes, less is more. We're in the city of Windsor Neutron, where Dudley and his group of bounty hunters have finally gained control of Dio, and they're going to be delivering her to Takeo and the teeth. Here's some original art on that. The tan paper, the black ink, the whiteout pen, basically just painting in some white, adding some zip by hand, cutting that. And then on this sequence, I just decided just blue with little hints of yellow. I even made like little color guides for myself where I just printed out, I just photocopied the black and white, and with colored pencil, I just kind of plugged in the areas that I thought would be the blue. Dio asks how Dudley keeps finding her time and time again, and he reveals way back in issue 1, when we first see Dio, turn like Jones, and Gordy, they're drinking at a bar, and Gordy offers Dio a sip of his drink, and there was a tracking device in that beverage that she took a sip of. So she's had a tracking device inside her this whole time. That's how Takeo, Dudley, the bounty hunters have known where to find her. In the distance of this panel, we see Beksu and Gordy have also showed up at Windsor Neutron, and they're going to attempt a rescue mission. Here's the color guide for that page. You can see when I work on the finished page, like sometimes things change. Like I originally had blue for the ground back here, and then I flipped it and did blue for the buildings, blue for Beksu and Gordy, blue for Dio, and then just a little hint of yellow on that word balloon and the little shock expression coming off of Gordy, and you know, boom, your eye knows what it's looking at. Perched on top of a rooftop, about to spring into action. Gordy's all nervous because he had too much tea. He puts on a disguise and floats down and distracts the whole group, and Dio's just like, Gordy? What the hell? I love getting super cartoony with it, like this stuff and this stuff. As they're distracted, Beksu jumps off the roof, lands, springs into action, power kicks Dudley right in the chrome dome there, sends him flying. His minions are like, oh shit, this ain't cool. Gordy grabs Dio and they're off. Channeling a little Daniel Warren Johnson there in that panel. Here's the original. It's a trick. I mean, it's like a thing manga artists have been using for years, where it's like if something's in motion, you just blur, you scratchify the edge of whatever is in motion, and it just kind of adds to that kinetic energy. Pretty fun. Beksu is not messing around here. She's in full warrior mode, and Dudley's like, you know, hit her with everything you got, and it's just not gonna work out for them. Gordy and Dio finally reunite as Beksu gets full into action, is just chopping dudes into pieces with her katana blade. Entrails are flying. People are praying to Jesus. It's a bloodbath of epic proportions, you guys. Here's the original on that. With these pages with the blood, I just decided, you know, black ink on the tan paper, add in the white, cut the zipatone by hand, but the blood is all done just with watercolor, just because I thought that would have a cool look to it. So as you can see, you know, the blue is obviously digital coloring, but the digital mixed with that organic, you know, paint there, think that does quite a nice job. I like that. Oh, and I found this as well. This was like my first attempt at this page. So as you can see, first panel is pretty similar. But this second panel, it just wasn't working. I kind of knew things were going astray there. So sometimes, that'll happen. I'll just start a page and then my gut instinct will kick in and I'll know when things are going off track, and I just kind of know, like, I'm just gonna scrap this and start over. Dio, Gordy, reunited. Dio is filling him in on everything that's happened since they last saw each other in issue 1. So, Turtleneck Jones killing himself, Nadas protecting her, them dream jumping into Mr. Chazi's dream, her accidentally manifesting this power that kills Mr. Chazi, them coming back awake, Dudley murders Nadas. Now here they are, and this is all happening while Beksu is still in the streets, just brutally taking apart these bounty hunters and henchmen piece by piece. We have our notebook flashback sequence to simpler days when Billy was still alive and him and Dio were a loving couple. The flashbacks directly reflect what is going on with the current situation. So it relates to the current story, but it also takes the reader back just for a brief moment to let people know where this story is all rooted in, which is the relationship of Dio and her boyfriend Billy, who passed away. Big old psychedelic double page spread back to Teiko's magic space base, where she is stabbing some creature, offering him up as a sacrifice, inhaling his fumes, which causes the teeth to manifest from slumber. And the teeth and Teiko kind of have an opportunity to catch up here on what's going on with apprehending Dio and where all that's at. Justin always comes in with these sequences, the digital lettering on Teiko and the teeth. These sequences always have the exact same color pattern, which is, well, I'll just show you the original. Boom, look at that double page spread. Too big for the screen. I would push the camera back, but I just don't want to have to readjust it. But anyway, black and white with the zip and a hint of red added gives us our Teiko and teeth flashbacks. Skip to catching up with where Turtleneck Jones is at. His little robot assistant guy, the Sphere. I designed various robots for this issue, like who would be assisting Turtleneck Jones, and then I just somehow decided on the idea of, like, he's just a circle. And I break out the template, and I don't know if it's laziness, but I just kind of like the idea of he's just this floating orb, and I can have all this detail around him. I can have Turtleneck Jones doing his thing, and he's basically just talking to a circle, It's kind of cool. Original art for this one, you can see the again, black ink work on the tan paper. This is hand cut Zipatone. The zip with that white added, and then just adding in the blue, orange, green, and some yellow. And suddenly we have basically the illusion of a full colored page. The little robot dude is warning Jones that he shouldn't be drinking while he's piloting this spacecraft while the cops are chasing after them. Turtleneck Jones, of course, manages to outmaneuver them. The space police crash and explode, and they're off to Windsor Neutron to rescue Dio. We can see back in the streets that Beksu has made short work of most of the henchmen. She's disabled most of their weapons. Dudley and his crew are still threatening her, and she's going to continue to just take them apart piece by piece. This last sequence was real fun. Here's the original on that. I basically penciled and inked this like it could stand alone as just a black and white comic. And I was really tempted just to have this sequence almost just in black and white and maybe do, as you can see over here, the digital gray surrounding the panels and just kind of have that be the look of this sequence. But then I just started plugging in the flat colors again, and it really did manage to work and create a very, I think, eye-popping, high-contrast look to this final sequence. And having that gray as the background seems to work really well, too. Maddie, one of Dudley's henchmen, is so upset that his best friend Mikey got murdered that he's just going to kill Dio. He doesn't care about the reward anymore. He just wants to get revenge. So he goes after her. Beksu is trying to deal with Dudley. A poison-tipped knife is thrown at Dio's way. Beksu jumps through the air, makes her way over, pushes Dio out of the way, and sacrifices herself for the cause. Direct hit. Even a badass warrior from the Azarian tribe like Beksu isn't going to be able to survive that, unfortunately. Maddie grabs Dio and is going to choke the life out of her as Gordy comes in for the assist. His head explodes from a powerful gun blast provided by Turtleneck Jones. Turtleneck to the rescue. There's the original on that. Check that out. Again, just high contrast fun. If this was the 80s, this book would just be printed like this. It would just be printed straight black and white, maybe with, some gray tone added, but it's interesting because that's how I started my career. I started with the Gen X Underground special, Clerks with Kevin Smith, and those were all black and white comics. The first two Girl Scouts series, Girl Scouts from 98 with Oni Press and Girl Scouts Work Sucks 2003 with Image Comics, both in black and white. Nothing wrong with black and white comics. I love them. Beksu hits the ground. Dio is shocked to see Turtleneck Jones again. Dudley takes out Turtleneck Jones, but as he demands Dio to come with him, the little robot dude whips out a huge, ridiculously huge, oversized gun, and Dudley blasts off with his rocket shoes once again. The gang comforts Beksu in her last moments, and she reveals to Dio that there's 3 girls. The 3 original last remaining Girl Scouts are in Freak City on Earth, and she needs to go to them to get the proper training to prepare her for the mission that awaits her. She's going to play a key role in the grand battle of the Girl Scouts versus the Teeth in the future. Beksu chokes and passes away here. The gang is shocked and upset to see this. Turtleneck Jones knows that she's from the Azarian tribe and prepares a warrior's funeral for her. Dio sits in the background and is just observing everything. Later in the streets, they're walking back to Turtleneck Jones's ship, and Turtleneck explains that him and Nodis share a link. That's how he was able to find Dio. Nodis is not dead, and he will eventually find them. Gordy asks Dio where Billy's ashes are. She finally knows this, and they're in Sector 7 in the Zappos district, which coincidentally is where the Sinister Steroid Squad Supreme comic book comes from. This comic was introduced in issue 1. Gordy gave it to Dio as a gift and revealed to her that his cousin has a comic book facility on this planet. So, with storytelling, you introduce little MacGuffins throughout your story. Like, I introduced this comic in issue 1, not just as a gag that, hey, Gordy's got this funny 90s comic and gives it to Dio as a gift, but as something that, like, okay, we're going to come back to this comic. Like, this comic is going to show up and play a part in the overall story that we're telling here. The gang makes it to the ship and is going to take off to grab Billy's ashes. We cut back to the hotel from last issue where Nodis was murdered by Dudley, and we see Nodis's decapitated head coming back to life, transforming into some sort of B character. This is kind of a reference to my Beat B character that I've had throughout the years. And Nodis is going to follow the gang and reconnect with them. We don't know what his intentions are. He kind of comes off as evil right here, like, oh, Jones is back alive, I'm gonna go track them down. And to be continued, of course. Like, we will find out what happens in the next issue, which is the conclusion to this whole epic tale, you guys. Getting into our letters pages. I love letters pages because, growing up with reading monthly comics in the 80s, the letters always were just a fun thing as a fan to check out what other fans were saying about the content, getting the editor's response on what the company was doing, the direction the book was going in. We have some awesome fan art here. My homegirl Ash from we're friends on Instagram. She's always like pimping my stuff and Brandon Graham stuff and wearing our t-shirts and promoting our comics. She's just super awesome chick. And I was totally blown away by this. She made a large-sized Gordy cookie. This is edible, you guys. This is she's got the little Skull Funk mug right here too that you can score off my TeePublic page. Shameless promotion. But this makes my day. I mean, this makes like my year, my month, my week, whatever, when like fans actually reach out and let me know that they're enjoying what I'm doing. And it's like we're a community, we're all kind of in it together, and it makes the countless hours of being alone at the drawing table worth it, knowing that people are out there appreciating and digging this stuff. Look at this piece, man. This is Bill Hewitt, old school buddy of mine. Lick Your Elbow Art on Instagram. Check him out. But like, man, look at how dope that piece is. We got Dio, Gordy, Takeo, the teeth. Just really, really fantastic. We got another appearance by Gordo, my homeboy Juan's dog, the magic mascot, the art supply delivery boy. In a meta moment, Gordo checking out the letters page from issue 2 where he made an appearance. He knows what's up, you guys. And then we got to end the issue with another gripping and ridiculous tale of everyone's favorite, Macho Tailfin. Gordy and his son are digging through the 50-cent bins, and his son Casper finds a polybagged book and is like, "What's a polybag?" And Gordy's like, let's rip it open and find out. And so we go back to kind of like a 90s style macho tailfin adventure. We have a military style colonel, kind of like a Youngblood type character with the sparkling single eye, like a reference to Cable. And it turns out the Baron Razor shrapnel strike is at the local mall causing trouble. And it's worse than you could imagine because the Baron is hosting a macho tailfin impersonator and charging people money to get his autograph and photo. Macho shows up, is shocked by this, springs into action, and just rips the Baron in half. Got some original art we'll show real quick. Look at that. All that toothbrush glorious splatter. Early 90s Bisley kind of stuff here, man. So fun to draw. Macho Tailfin just starts taking everybody out, including some of the good guys, and this guy's like, Macho, stop, you're killing some of the good guys. He's like, yeah, it doesn't matter to me, none, sucker. Finds the impersonator, thrusts his fist down the mascot's mouth and like literally rips out the head of the dude who's inside there. And it gets dark really quickly, and Gordy slams the comic shut and is like, man, I thought we were going to get just a silly 90s kind of vibe. Instead, we got some sort of like Tim Vigil outlaw nightmare type of situation. Faust is psychosexual. Casper whips out a little knife. Gordy's so shocked that his hat pops off. So, pretty fun. Ended on a humorous note. It's lighthearted, it's ridiculous, it's fun. This is what comics are all about to me. You know, you can have your serious moments, obviously, have your drama, have your emotion, have your character building, but also it's just such a fun medium to play in that I have to, express myself in this way of doing just silly and ridiculous kind of stuff. Ended out on some ads. We got the t-shirts and gear available at the tpublic.com, guys. Original art and commissions, inkyknuckles.com. Check out Inky Knuckles art on Instagram as well. Girl Scouts Magic Socks is available through your local comic shop. Score a copy of that, or grab a signed and doodled on version from me on my website, jimmahfood.com. We got the cover gallery. Last issue debuts next month. What are we looking at for a date on that? April 20th, 420, bro. The last issue and a killer variant cover from my homeboy, Sean Crystal. More stuff available. Sketchbooks, Carl the Cat That Makes Peanut Butter Sandwiches, off my website, jimmahfood.com. Join me every Sunday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern. Skull, Funk, and Draw for an hour of music and hanging out as I live stream just a drawing session and we listen to good tunes. Thanks as always for joining me, you guys, and supporting my work. Thank you to Stephen A. Soria for producing and editing this video. Thanks to Andrew Soria for the beginning animation to this video. You guys are awesome. I'll talk to you soon.
Oh, hot damn. Jim Mahfood's original art and commissions are available at inkyknuckles.com. Score a sweet little piece that you can hang up in your bomb shelter. Do you love awesome things? Are you a soldier of the Skullfunk Army? Score graphic novels, comics, prints, and enamel pins over at jimmahfood.com. And make sure to check out the Skullfunk Radio Show on Spotify. Follow the Merchant of Grooves on Instagram at Jim Mahfood. Oh, hot damn! just when you thought it couldn't get any more weird. Jim Mahfood brings his visual funk to the world of pop-up books in Pop-Up Funk, a three-dimensional explosion of art from the dark master of psychedelic groove. Each copy includes Funky Beats, Sir, Girl Scouts Army, Pure Gonzo, Everybody Loves Tank Girl, Pop Life, and Thrilling. Food One's unique brand of art destruction comes alive in 2 glorious editions of this crazy pop-up book from the pop-up pioneers at Proposition Press. Now, that's a lot of pops. Bonus interior art and exciting new comics are also included. So nasty. Available at propositionpress.com. Dig the groove, young space cadet?
Pure art destruction.